Chapter 36. And he was escorting me home when I heard the racket from your departure. Desimone sat on her mother's throne, gazing at all the knights and members of court who had gathered around to listen to her story. That's how I came back here quite safely. An incredible story, your highness, Garendon said, leaning on his staff. Tea with a dragon? It apologized. Sir Aaron furrowed his brows. For the destruction it caused? It did, Desimone chuckled. I shouldn't have believed it myself if I hadn't experienced it. You saw the proof. I find this all highly suspicious. Sir Galloway leaned in the corner where he had stationed himself since returning to the castle. He had listened to her entire story with a scowl on his face. What do you find so suspicious, Sir Galloway? Desimone said. The peasant. I'm not so sure this isn't some trick. Desimone rolled her eyes. Sir Galloway, how did a peasant gain the friendship of a dragon when true knights have struggled to approach them without being roasted alive? Galloway turned up his nose. He just happens to vow friendship with a creature who destroyed our kingdom. A fair point, Sir Galloway. Desimone smoothed her dress down. It seems it all started with your dragon trap. Eh? Tesco, the dragon, got himself caught in it. Sevrin happened by and released him. Desimone rested her hand on her lap. By the by, I simply must ask you refrain from using such a trap in the future. Poor Tesco has a terrible wound on his leg from it. I imagine it must have been quite painful. Galloway sputtered. Though I don't blame you. Desimone let her eyes drift to her hands. 24 hours ago, I would have gladly used your trap and lauded you should you have succeeded in dispatching Tesco. But that was before I knew how gentle he is. Gentle? Galloway shouted. It's a beast! I thought the same. A smile spread across Desimone's face, until Sevrin taught me to look past his exterior. Sevrin. Galloway's mouth screwed up as he spoke Severin's name, as if speaking it left a foul taste in his tongue. I recognize a blighter as the one who jumped in front of Her Highness's horse, nearly causing her physical injury and unhorsing me. It was all an accident, Sir Galloway, Desimone said. An accident? Galloway snorted through his nose. How is he always there? The dragon starts by burning his field. I trap the thing, and this peasant frees it. He was there when you dressed down the knights. And then the dragon invites you for tea along with him, who then escorts you back when I was literally riding out to your rescue. This is all too much. Does this not smack of treachery? Desimone crossed her arms. What sort of treachery are you implying, Sir Galloway? The peasant has bewitched you, my princess. Bewitched me? Desimone burst into laughter. Then how is he always there? Always ready to one-up me in small ways. Always there to humiliate me. Always there to plant doubts in your mind. Sir Galloway stood up straight. And you kiss him in public. I shall not have it. As your betrothed, I demand you refrain from such behavior in the future. My betrothed? Desimone stood to her feet. I was not aware I accepted your proposal, knights. You would have, Galloway raised his chin, from the tower's parapet, before the dragon spirited you away. You were about you, were you not? I might have, but I'm glad I didn't. Desimone heaved a sigh. I had hoped to do this in private, Sir Galloway, but I have decided to reject your proposal. Galloway said nothing, but clenched his teeth and hands. His face flushed red. My heart belongs to another. Desimone touched her chest. Even if it didn't, I cannot marry someone who looks down on my people. I need someone who would reach out to them rather than shun them. Someone like the peasant, you mean, Galloway said through his teeth. That is not your concern. Desimone resumed her seat. However, allow me to say I do heartily appreciate everything you've done for me and my kingdom. Heartily appreciate? Galloway snarled. My efforts will not be in vain. I will destroy the dragon and dissolve the enchantment placed upon you. You will be mine. No harm is to come to the dragon, Sir Galloway. Desimone shot to her feet. That is a royal order. If you cannot abide by it, you are welcome to leave my realm. I shall instruct Tesco to let you pass unfettered, but I will not have you disobeying my orders. Is this understood? Galloway snarled. Am I understood, Sir Galloway? Desimone repeated her question in a tone which defied him to ignore her again. Clearly, Galloway said through his teeth. Desimone sank back into her seat. At least that was over and done with. Your Highness, Duncan, one of the nobles in the royal court, stepped forward. By your leave, I request a message be sent to your parents to return to the kingdom at once. If the dragon truly wishes to side with our city, we must act quickly to create an official accord with it. Such was my intention. Desimone stood. If you all will excuse me, I shall craft a message with them forthwith. Maria? Maria instantly rushed to Desimone's side. As they made the way to one of the throne room's exits, Maria leaned over to whisper, Your heart belongs to another. Pray, Princess, what do you mean by it? You were gone 24 hours. Have you met your love in such short a time? Yes and no. Desmond leaned in close to whisper back. You'll never guess it, Maria. Sevrin is Sir Apple. Maria's eyes sparkled as she gasped in amazement. You found him again. Even before I knew he was Sir Apple, my heart leapt in Severin's presence. It always belonged to him, which is why I could never accept Sir Galloway. How terribly romantic! Maria took her hand. Come, Your Highness, you must tell me all. Of course. I shall reveal all to you while I craft a message for my parents. Desmond crossed the room, glancing at the knights. And I would ask you to help me write it in such a manner to prepare my father to accept Sevrin. Sir Galloway, though. Maria looked over her shoulder toward the knight. He will not accept your rejection easily, I deem. Desmond didn't even look in his direction as she left the room by a different door. Be that as it may, he will have to accept my decision. Whether he does so easily or not is not my concern. If I may be so bold as to offer my advice, watch him, Your Highness, until he leaves to return home. Maria pressed her lips together. Such a man will hold a grudge, especially after everything he's done. I deem your advice wise, Maria, Desimone said.